Pages or workers? Cloudflare says to start with workers now. Pages aren't going anywhere, but they do run with workers under the hood, and you get a little bit more flexibility when you start with workers. With that setup, you are still not paying for static asset requests, so why not just start with workers right away? In this video, I'll walk you through different stages and setups of deployments that I actually use, starting from pages created from Cloudflare dashboard handled by the Cloudflare CLI, then create pages directly from GitHub Actions and handles deployments from GitHub Actions. I'll migrate pages to workers with static assets, and the last, more advanced deployment, if you need to use it, if you have lots of documents, I recommend that you use workers with R2 as static storage. This is the exact progression that I used for my Dream Journal website. Initially, I needed just a landing page, terms of service and privacy policy for my Dream Journal app. Then I had an idea. To get more discoverability, I generated lots and lots of symbol pages, so I created the Dream Symbols Dictionary. And I needed to migrate my pages to workers with static assets. Why? Pages are limited to 20k documents. Mine had a lot more documents, and it worked for a while. But at some point I got lots of timeouts when I tried to deploy my website, which is why I migrated to R2 with workers. So anytime I make a change now, I only update my R2. I don't need to update my worker. For demo, I have a Docusaurus setup in the website directory, and the distribution will be in the build directory. Why I'm saying that it's important for the next step. One way to create a deployment is using the Cloudflare CLI. So go to workers and pages, create an application. I'll choose pages instead of worker and import an existing directory. And my build command is build, output directory is build, and the root directory is the website. And also you choose the production branch, which I suppose is main. And there you have it, the website is deployed. And with the current setup, on every single change to the main, it will launch a deployment, which is not what we want. Let's keep deployments, to demonstrate, let's keep deployments here. And demo Cloudflare pages here. So let's say I edit the README. A new deployment is triggered. That's not what we want because there might be many pushes not related to the website, so cancel the deployment. You can specify in settings the build watch paths, and it will be anything related to website. So let's try editing again. And unfortunately, this is how Cloudflare works. It will register a new change has been made, but it will not trigger a new deployment because of the build setup. And if I make a change inside the website, new deployment is triggered. This covers that. I don't want to do Cloudflare CLI, I want to do deployment from the GitHub Actions. So I will remove this page and trigger everything from GitHub Actions. When you create a new deployment, even a new page, you don't need to go to workers and pages and manually create an application. But there's one thing you need to create at least once. So that's an API token for Wrangler. It is a Cloudflare CLI. So you can do everything from the terminal or set up an automated way with GitHub Actions. To get a token, go to profile/API tokens and create a new token. It will be a custom one. For permissions, choose Cloudflare Pages, edit, and you need the account settings read to resolve the account metadata. You also need the account ID, which can be found in the workers and pages landing and in the right sidebar. So let's get back to the repo and set up secrets. Now let's set up a GitHub action. Action can be triggered manually on workflow dispatch or whenever you push to main, but only what touches this workflow or the website directory. My new Cloudflare Pages project will be called differently. I appended one, and the rest of the setup are the build steps. So always check out code, set up Node.js, so everything related to building the Docusaurus website. This step ensures Pages project exists, so you don't need to go to the dashboard and manually create it. This will create it, and in all of the subsequent steps, when it exists, this step will fail, but it won't be a blocking step. If you want to handle this gracefully, you can always do a projects list and find your project. I don't care about that. Also, when creating a project, by default, if you don't specify, Cloudflare will set your production branch to main. If your production branch is something else, you can specify it here. And the last step is the actual deployment. If you don't specify the branch, it won't deploy to production, it will deploy to a feature branch. Okay, I think that's it. And let's trigger it. Oh, it's triggered already, of course, because I have a trigger when every time there's a push to main to this workflow file. Oh, okay, I need to specify the production branch. I was wrong. That's it. If I go to workers and pages, you can see this project was created and it's there. Let's test my theory if I was right. For that problematic step when creating a new page, it should be ignored. And as I said, this will fail, but the step will succeed. It's deployed. For deploying workers, you need to change the custom API token. This is not enough. You need the account worker scripts edit. User details read. Because Wrangler reads user/user for validating the token. And last thing, if you have a custom domain setup in the Wrangler Tomer file for workers, I'm not sure if it works for Cloudflare Pages, but you need workers routes edit and probably DNS edit. This should be enough. I created a new workflow which deploys only workers. It's similar to the previous setup, as in this is the build process for Docusaurus, and the last step is the deployment. Notice the difference, there is no pages deploy but only deploy, and I can point it to my TOML specific TOML configuration with assets. TOML file looks like this, so same setup for pages, this is the same. It creates a new, if it doesn't exist, new worker is created. So let's double check. Deployment will, if it doesn't exist, it will create it. Instead of pages output directory, you would specify assets and point to the build directory of your static website generator. Not found handling. For static websites, it will be exactly this, 404 page, and it means it will find the 404.html. If it's a single page application, then you would put a single page application, and you can find the documentation of not found handling options on the public website. I think it's only these two options. And the last thing is HTML handling, how the worker router will act when it finds the .html file. I don't like URLs with a trailing slash, so I chose the drop trailing slash, but look at what other options are there if you like the trailing slash. And the deployment was successful. And this is the deployment from the worker with static assets. Now we come to the last part of this tutorial and the last part of the setup. If you have lots of documents and you have timeouts with worker with assets, you might consider using worker with R2 as a storage. It's a good alternative if you still want to stick with Cloudflare. So create a new R2 bucket. R2 object storage is an S3 equivalent. I'll name it demo Cloudflare workers R2, and then go back to object storage. We need to create an access token for the R2 storage. We want object read and write, and you need these two values, access key ID and secret access key, which I'll set in repository secrets. And my setup for deployment for R2 consists of a new workflow file, which is very similar to the previous setup, except the R2 step. R2 is an S3 equivalent, which means you can use the same AWS CLI to upload to S3. You need the access key ID, the R2 access key ID, and the secret that we created in the Cloudflare dashboard. And the one step is also separate different Wrangler TOML file. Instead of the assets, you put R2 buckets and point to the bucket you created, and also pointing to the worker module, which is the one that handles routing to the R2 storage. And it looks like this, but let's go through the important part. So in my case, static can always have, get and head requests. Other methods are not allowed. And in case of a normal get request, it will look up of supported content types, look up the binding assets that we created, that's the binding to R2, and look up the requested key, cache the response tag. If the object is not found, it will fall back to the not found route. In case of Docusaurus, it creates a 404 HTML file, also cached, and response not found is returned, otherwise it proxies the object from R2 storage. And if I go back, you can see that I have a failure from my deployment. And the reason being is when I pasted my access tokens for R2, GitHub Secrets creates a new line character, so be careful, delete the new line character, and otherwise it should succeed. Worker is deployed to this URL. And this last deployment, this covers our tutorial. I covered 3 types of deployments, and thanks for watching this video.